Facebook, and I'm live on Instagram, IG, Facebook, and YouTube. Hello. It is LovePower Wednesday. It is where I come on every Wednesday, except actually last Wednesday. I was, not feeling well. I was down in Savannah, actually, for I was co-presented at a conference there and supported one of my clients at a conference there. And I got sick. It wasn't COVID. It's so funny that now whenever somebody coughs or gets sick, we like, COVID. It wasn't COVID, thankfully. Thank the Lord it wasn't COVID. But I was not feeling well. And I didn't have it in me. I was, and listening to our bodies is important. If you remember the week before last, I talked about the importance of sleep and rest, and I did that. But I'm back this week. LovePower Wednesdays. I still have this tingle in my throat from that cold, but you may still hear me a little nasally. But I'm glad to be back. Glad to be able to talk and share with you all. Tonight's message is about receiving well. Which is something that a lot of us have to learn how to do. I had to learn how to do that. So I'll give it a couple moments. Oh, I see people coming on. So awesome. Hey, Tamiko. So I'm glad you all are on. And so LovePower Wednesday is all about teaching out of the LovePower principles, concepts that kind of align with the LovePower principles. And I'll give you those really quick. So POWER is an acronym for P, personal leadership. O, obedience. W is wealth mindset. E is energy management. And R is resilience. And so LovePower is all about showing up in those principles. And under those principles are all kinds of teaching and concepts that really support a life that is empowered, a life that ultimately leads to abundance, joy, freedom, and fulfillment. The very things that the kingdom of God has allowed us to do. And has afforded us, those of us that operate in those principles, afforded us an opportunity to do. And love and LovePower is God. And so it is showing up fully to your life, empowered by God, so that you can make a positive impact in the world and ultimately experience those things of joy, freedom, abundance, and fulfillment. So with that, I titled tonight, Receiving Well, which basically is about asking and receiving help, asking or receiving compliments, receiving goodness, receiving the things you've prayed for well. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of times this happened to me, and I know I'm not alone in this because I support my clients in dealing with some of these very things. First of all, a lot of us have trouble asking for help. We don't ask for help because one, when we have, the help let us down. So it's just like, you know what, I'm going to do it myself anyway. I might as well not even ask. I got this. And when we operate from that mentality, we usually find ourselves at the end of whatever project or the end of the day, overwhelmed and operating in resentment against people that didn't even know that we needed their help. So we're mad at people, resentful, and usually the people who are closest to us, right? It's our family members. It's our loved ones who get the brunt of this resentment because they didn't help us in the way that we wanted to be helped, but we never asked them for the help, right? Or they offered and we said no. And so part of receiving well is being first able to ask for the help you need. So often we don't ask. And I don't know if it's just a woman thing. I think guys are this way too, men are. But I coach some men, but I happen to coach and talk to, because I'm a woman, so many more women, and this shows up where we don't ask for the help we need, or like I said, when we do get the help, it's not the way we want it, and so we shun help. And so part of receiving well is asking for the help we need and being specific in the ask. So instead of, can you just come help me with this event, or come help me with this dinner, or come help me plan this, or help, whatever the help you're asking for, a lot of times we ask for help and it's just kind of wide open. And so folks just come get in where they fit in and usually gravitate towards the things that work well for them, or gravitate towards some of the easy stuff, or just gravitate towards the things they know, and they do it in the way that they know how to do it. And so part of receiving well is making clear requests. So if you want somebody to come and specifically help you with, let's say that you're planning, I don't know, just dinner, like a family dinner, and you need help with that. This is the area that I've grown a lot in and asking for help. So like, can you make the green beans? Right? And oftentimes we'll just say, can you make something for dinner or make sides? But you need to maybe be specific about that. I am one of the caretakers. My dad and I share caretaking for my mom. And so when I am traveling and I'm not there, I have a text thread of about 5 people that I say, hey, I try to give them enough heads up. I'm headed out. This is what we need. Or usually I'm saying check in, right, with my dad. So see if he needs any support to help with my mom, because I'm not there, because he and I, again, tag team that. So just being specific in what you need is important. Even those of us that have our businesses, or even not even if you have a business, when you need help, right, you ask somebody to come, but a lot of times we're not clear. And so if you need someone to be a graphic designer for you, then you need to be specific about those things you need them to do. And that will help you receive well, because they will give you what you need. People will do this. This happens a lot in love relationships. As women, we throw hints. We give all kinds of other suggestions, but we never ask for what we need. And so if you like flowers, for instance, this came up for me in a past relationship. Like, tulips are my favorite flower. One of my favorites. I love hydrangeas too, but tulips are one of my favorites. And he would always send me roses. Roses are nice, but they don't move me the way tulips move me. I just think tulips are beautiful. I love the colors. I love the way they open up. So anyway, I had to ask specifically, this is the flower that I like, right? And a lot of times we don't ask for that. We don't ask for what we need, what we desire. And so we get resentful. And then a lot of times we're doing all the work and all the things, and then we're overwhelmed because we're doing it all because we don't know how to receive well, or we don't allow people in to help us. So one is we need to do better about our requests and how we ask. And 2, when people show up, we need to allow them to operate in their gift, right? Allow them to help us. So they're doing a task. They may not do it the way we do it. And we have to learn to release that, as long as the outcome is the outcome. This is big for women in particular, well, anybody, but particular women who love control, people who love to take control and be in control, and you want it done your way and nobody else's way is right. And that will lead you to a life of frustration and overwhelm and resentment, and ultimately just angry because nobody around here helping me, nobody around here doing anything. Well, no, because every time they do, you reject whatever they do. You criticize whatever they do. So they didn't wipe the counter down the way you wanted it wiped down. So now you're upset. Instead of saying, here's another way to do it, right? Or sharing, especially, some people wipe the counter down by wiping everything off the counter onto the floor. That's not helpful. So saying, hey, when you're wiping the counter down, you're also wiping it onto the floor. Be mindful. Would you be mindful to not let it hit the floor, right? That might be something just simple you can do to help you be able to receive. Sometimes we have to train people how to help us, and they don't know. They want to, but they don't know. But when they show up and they operate in doing it the way that they want to do it, as long as it's done. So if you ask somebody if you need help folding towels around the house, and you fold your towels in 3s and they fold theirs in half, like, you know what I'm saying? Like different ways to fold a towel. Did the towels get folded? Is it okay if they're not folded the way you wanted them to be folded? There may be a certain way that, yes, they could be folded better so they fit better into the closet, but did the towels get folded? And so we have to release sometimes the way we want, the way we think things are to be done, so that people can help us. Because when we over criticize people who come to help us and they're doing their very best, ultimately you'll find yourself not getting any help, because nobody wants to be criticized when they're coming to help you. So that's the second thing. So the first thing was, when you ask for help, that you need to be clear about what your request is so they even know how to help you. And 2, when they come to help you, allow them the liberty to help you in a way that they may do it. So, yes, they may be doing the task, that the request that you made. It was clear. Can you do A, right? And they come and do X, Y, Z for you. They come and do A, B, C, X, Y, Z, whatever it is you've requested clearly for them. They do that, but they may not do it the way you wanted them to do it. But it still got done. You're going to have to release that. It may not be done the way you want it to be done. So that's the second way we can learn to receive well. Because then you'll realize, wow, there really are a lot of people who want to support me, who want to help me. And people do. I'm telling you, as someone who would be like, you know what, I'll do it myself. I don't need nobody. Listen, right? Throw the whole world on my shoulders and put my head down and knock stuff out and make it happen and then be mad. Sitting in bitterness, sitting in resentment and frustration. So as a recovering control person, control freak, I want to tell you, one of the ways to receive well is to release it. Release the how and allow the out. Just be clear about the outcome you need. The other thing in receiving well is... Oh, thanks, Dr. Flavor, for sharing that. So the other thing in receiving well is to think about, a lot of times what happens is life is going amazing and great. And like you're in alignment, you're walking in step by step with God's ordained path for you. You're using your gifts fully. People are appreciating you. And you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like you're like, life can't be just this good. And, I always tell people, ask me how I know. I was there where you're just like, oh, this is just a fluke that life is this amazing. And actually, this should be our norm where we experience the joy and the freedom and abundance that life has for us because we're operating in our gifts. We're operating in alignment with what God has called us to do. We're operating in our purpose and in our assignment. And if you listen to me for any number of time, I tell you that there's a difference. That purpose, we all have the same purpose, to use our gifts, talents, skills, and abilities to ultimately give God glory and to serve others, right? Our purpose, it impacts us and it supports us and we're able to benefit from it. But ultimately, it really is about how we show up in the world to be of service, how we express those gifts, those talents, the skills, all of that we bring to change the trajectory of somebody's life, to make a positive impact in an industry, in a person's life, in wherever we show up. And that in turn gives God glory. So that's our purpose. The assignment is where you show up in that purpose. So our purpose follows us. It doesn't care. I don't care if you're doing this one job, and then you shift jobs. Purpose is the same. Assignments are the jobs. Assignments are the tasks. Assignments are the thing we're called to for seasons, right? Sometimes a lifetime, but it may be for a season of your life. So anyway, I won't go into all that teaching, but I say that to say, a lot of times when we're operating in that gift, when we're doing that, we're walking in purpose and in our assignment, like things are easy. It flows. My coach would say, walking in your ease and flow, right? It just kind of flows. And a lot of times when it happens, those of us that had not been used to receiving goodness, we don't know how to receive that well. We start to question it. We start to question our value and our worthiness around it. But also we start to question, how long can this last? Yes, I'll be saving. It'll stay up. I'll leave the live up. Yes. But we'll be asking ourselves, how long will this last? How long can, we're waiting on the other shoe to drop, waiting on something negative to happen because we just have not been able to experience true joy, pure joy, freedom, and fulfillment, and walking in that. And so we don't receive well. So when well comes to us, when goodness comes to us, we question it. We question whether or not it's valid. We question whether or not it's ours. When other people are kind to us and give to us, we wonder, like, do they have ulterior motives? Like, we question the purity of their heart in giving. So all of that, when we don't know how to receive well. So part of kind of flipping that is for us to simply be gracious receivers, right? To just be grateful for the moment, grateful for the gifts, grateful for whatever goodness is coming to our way. And that gratitude, sitting in that gratitude, operating in that gratitude, begets more of that goodness and greatness coming towards you. And to the point where it's like an avalanche. Like, it starts to just come and come and come and come. And life is good. And it can be. And it doesn't mean that negative things don't happen. It doesn't mean that, a family member, you may lose a loved one. You may have to be going through difficult situations. Like I said, I'm in the middle of some tough stuff myself right now, but it's not about what I'm in the middle of. It's my ability. It's what I'm looking at, what I'm focused on. And because I'm focused on the goodness, I'm able to receive well. So when those people, when as I talked about earlier, when I ask for help and people come, I'm just so grateful. One, because nobody has to do anything for you. Nobody has to be nice. Nobody has to be kind. And so when they are, I'm truly grateful for it. But two, I've learned, again, how to set myself up for success by sharing, this is how I need help. And when it comes, it comes in a way that's supportive. And I'm able to receive it well. And in that receiving it well and giving the gratitude for it, I experience that even more at greater levels. It's almost like, I don't even know how to really describe, but it's almost like it recycles itself. Like, it just gets bigger, this avalanche, the more you walk in your gratitude for it, and it helps you receive well. So some of you all need to up your gratitude, and that will help you receive well. Because you're rejecting it, because you're always looking for negativity or looking for something not good to happen. Excuse me, y'all. And so keeping an eye out, always looking for the upside, the silver lining, as they say, opportunities for gratitude will help you to receive well. God has immense blessings for us, immense a life that has been that is beyond our wildest dreams. The scripture tells us, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor enter into the heart of man the things that God has for those that love him. And when he says those that love him, we know that, what does he say? Those that keep my commandments love me. Right? And those commandments are aligned with the principles of the kingdom when we operate in those principles. And I try to keep our LovePower Wednesdays down to 30 minutes or less. So I don't want to get too deep into those. But the principles, right, when I talk about the LovePower principles, those principles, when we operate in those, we're able to have the abundant life that Jesus said we could have. Right? I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. I love the Amplified. It says to the full, right? You're going to have life to the full. It's actually how I named my company. My company is named Life Fulfilled Coaching and Consulting. And so that scripture, right? Living life to the full. And that we be the full expression of God through us, working through us. And all of us have the Spirit of God within us, and God is operating in and through us. And so when you show up, God shows up. When you show up, goodness shows up. And so you got to be able to receive well. Another thing that we don't do well in our receiving is in compliments. Someone will say, I love your top, or I love that suit, or whatever that is. And we always downplay. We can't we need to just simply say thank you. I said I'm going to do a thank you challenge, just to challenge you all to think about how many times when somebody compliments you that you try to, I don't even know the word, but you try to, usurp their compliment, or to downgrade their compliment, or give a caveat to it, or qualify the compliment instead of just saying thank you. So, that whole saying of, I love that dress, this whole thing, right? Just say thank you. Nobody needs to know, girl, I had this for 5 years, and I didn't know what I was going to wear with it. And we go through this whole story instead of just simply saying thank you. We go to this whole story to downplay the compliment. And we got to learn to just receive well. And so even receiving compliments, learning how to receive compliments well with a simple thank you. And not trying to say, oh, well, now trying to figure out what you like about them. And not that you can't like something about somebody else, but just being genuine in that, right? And receiving it and just simply saying thank you. And think about, though, I want you to be aware of and notice the chatter that happens in your head when somebody compliments you. Do you start to downplay it? Do you start to create qualifiers and caveats about why about receiving the compliment instead of just saying thank you and like really receiving it with gratitude? Your skin is beautiful. Girl, I have been working on it for years. I couldn't get, it's just, you can't just say thank you. Just say thank you. Your hair is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it takes forever for me to do it. Just say thank you, right? I love the presentation that you gave. Girl, that was last minute. I had to hurry up and put that together. You don't even understand. Like, just say thank you. Oh, no volume on Facebook because I don't have my headset in. Shuki, thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Facebook. And it's probably YouTube too. So my laptop has been giving me issues and I forgot to put my headset in. So Facebook can probably hear me now, but it's late. So what I'll do is download it from Instagram and repost it. Shuki. All right. But anyway, we're coming to the end. Thank you. Oh, yes, Trey. Yes. So you're saying that's you. Yeah, we do that all the time. We downplay compliments. So we need to learn how to receive well, and in receiving well, we're able to give well. And what do I mean by that? So when you receive well, you're able to give compliments genuinely. You're able to show up and really help people genuinely. Because you're going to operate also from your overflow. So when people ask you for help, you're going to show up in a way that they need you because you understand the importance of receiving well. So all of that kind of comes full circle. I want to encourage you to receive well, and you'll start to notice again when you're in that place of gratitude. That's a huge part of receiving well. How life continues to show up and shift for you in major ways, and it keeps coming. Like goodness keeps coming. It doesn't stop. I love the scripture where it's Psalms. Lord, I forgot. Just Psalm 23rd Psalm, right? When it says, goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Well, goodness and mercy, when you read that in the original translation, it's almost like it's not just follow me. It's like chase you down and overtake you. Goodness and mercy shall follow you. It shall bring you down and overtake you. And we're able to receive well and that happens, and we're able to receive well because of us being in gratitude, because we know how to make requests of people. We know how to receive help in a way that allows people to show up as their best selves to help us. And then we're also able to take and receive compliments genuinely and just hold them versus trying to shun them or to create qualifiers and caveats about why we're going to receive the compliment. It's so awkward and weird. And when you start to notice these things, now that I'm talking about it, you'll notice now your awareness has been piqued. You'll notice now in your conversations when you asking people for help or people are offering their help, I want you to think, am I receiving well in this? When people offer you compliments, I want you to think, all this chatter may go in your head, but all I want you to say is thank you. And I want you to be able to receive well. So I love to keep LovePower Wednesdays down to 30 minutes or less. If any of this has touched or impacted you, thank y'all for the comments. Thank you for the hearts. Facebook, I am so sorry. I did not put my earbuds in. So I'm going to take the live down off Facebook, and then I'll repost the video from Instagram onto Facebook. Sorry, y'all. All right. It happens. Have an amazing night. I'm actually in Ohio tonight. I'm doing a 2-day training for a team here and super excited about doing that for them, but I also need to go to bed. I like to go to bed early so I can wake up early and get a lot of quiet time in before I go do training so I can show up well. For those that I came to serve. All right. Have an amazing night. Good night. Bye-bye.